Yeah.
Well, we are back on another edition of the SHU Hockey Podcast. The last time we spoke, Sacred Heart did not go to Niagara yet to play Air Force, but they did. They won 3-2, courtesy of a Braden Tuck overtime goal. Steve Bergin, assistant coach, joins us. Steve, welcome. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Can you take us through that game against Air Force, which was played in Niagara? What did you like? What did you not like?
Yeah, it was a game that was up and down. It's been hard to get into a flow, into a rhythm with our systems and whatnot. But I thought our compete level was good. We had a really good second period. Third period kind of got a little bit on our heels, and then they came back, tied it late, and then got into overtime, and overtime was back and forth, and Tuck had a really nice goal, good play from Anderson, and then we were able to finish it.
People that may have not seen, if they were not watching the game, with about 11 seconds to go, you guys had an offensive zone faceoff in the Air Force end, and Air Force ended up tying the game with 2 seconds to go in regulation. What went wrong in that sequence?
Yeah, I mean, they got possession and they flew the zone. We got beat up ice, and they just made a good play. They like I said, they got possession. They sent some guys up ice. They pulled their goalie, and it was just kind of a bang play where there was a rebound, and they were able to capitalize and send the game in overtime.
Now, before we talk about the rest of the outlook on the team and the rest of the season, we are in our second shutdown, 2-week shutdown for the Pioneers. How difficult is it for you guys to stay in check during this time? Because some teams, like Sacred Heart, have had multiple shutdowns, and some teams yet to have a single one. So what goes into this, and how do you tell the team just stay ready for the next time you got to take the ice?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we're all dealing with, and obviously none of us have any experience with this. So it's something that we're kind of just dealing with on the fly. It's been tough for sure, but the guys have done, they've been doing a great job with it. They've been staying focused. The guys that aren't in quarantine, they're continuing to skate and get on the ice. It's just something, we're mentally, you just have to stay ready to go. And, once we're able to get back, it's just time to get back to work and continue on. So it's definitely been hard to get into a rhythm and get into some structure. But like I said, the guys have done a great job with it, and, continue just to deal with the adversity. And, when we get back, hopefully we don't have to deal with this again, and we can just, finish out the rest of the year.
So you've only been at Sacred Heart for a little while now. Describe your transition from coaching in the ECHL to college hockey.
It's been hard with this year of getting, a real taste of exactly what's going on, because we haven't been on the road to recruit. We haven't had a full schedule, but the transition itself's been pretty good. I'd say the biggest difference, is just dealing with the age of players. You go from dealing with some older guys to here dealing with some younger guys. So, but it's been good. I really like the transition. I love working with Scott and CJ. I think we got a great staff. The school has been awesome. So it's been a good transition for myself. It's just, it's going to take probably to next year to see, how it fully transitions once we get recruiting and all that stuff.
Steve, I want you to talk a little bit about your time with the South Carolina Stingrays in the ECHL. You won Coach of the Year not too long ago. What was so successful for you guys down there?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you're in a great city. You're in a great spot. You're in a really good organization with the Washington Capitals. So right off the bat, you're going to get good players. And, when you have good players, you're going to have successful teams. And so that was first and foremost, led to a lot of success. And then, we just had a really good group of guys. We had guys that were hungry to win. We had guys that wanted to do it the right way. We really focused on our culture a lot. And, with that, guys bought into the process of winning a championship and what it takes on a daily level. So with that, with the mixture of good players and motivated players, it led to some success. And the guys down there, they like I said, they really wanted to win and do it the right way, and they did it for each other, and it led to a lot of success.
So you described that now you're obviously working with a lot of younger players. How are your relationships with the players at Sacred Heart, especially those underclassmen, maybe the freshmen and sophomores?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously been a trying year with trying to build relationships with a lot of guys, because we haven't been at the rink as much. So it's not like when we were practicing at Wonderland for the first half of the year, you basically can get there 15 minutes before you get on the ice. So you're on the ice. So a lot of the times, the main time you're talking to players is on the ice. And in the past, you'd be at the rink early, guys would come in, you'd be able to show them video, kind of talk about what's going on away from the rink. And so it's definitely been tougher, building, some strong relationships, but at the same time, I really, really enjoy, that aspect of the profession. So I've been trying to, talk to the guys as much as I can and build those relationships and, just to get to know them. So I think it's taken a little bit longer than usual, but it's definitely coming.
Steve, when you were with the South Carolina Stingrays and you made the jump to Sacred Heart, what stood out to you that was the deciding factor from staying another year in the ECHL and professional hockey and going to the college level?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that went into it, and with everything that was going on with COVID, it kind of gave me, it gave me a moment of pause where I wasn't sure what was going to be happening for this year, and so it kind of made me think about what was important to me. And I've known Scott for a long time. We've had a good relationship, and the position was open, and we started talking about it. And it really came down to the style of coaching. I wanted to try out college, and I really really enjoy the aspect of developing players. And I thought at college, you have a guy for 4 years, and with the new NCAA rules, some of these guys for 5. And I thought that that sounded really interesting. And then the direction the program's been going in, they've been obviously building in the last couple of years, and then they have the announcement of the new arena. So I just thought there was a lot of pieces of the puzzle that were kind of fitting together. And I wanted to give it a try. And um, I always think that if I came and I really didn't like it, I probably could try to go back to the pro side and try climbing the ladder again. So I just thought it was the right time, just to see what it had to offer. And I'm really liking it so far.
Well, I'm glad you're liking it because the team seems to like you so far. Take us back though to your hockey roots. When did you start getting into the sport? How did you get into it? How old were you when you got into it? Just take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, right, when I was walking, I had a stick in my hands, and then right when I can get on the ice, I was on the ice. My dad played hockey. My older brother played, so right off the bat, it was something that was really prevalent in my life. So started skating when I was probably like 3 years old, getting on the ice. I go to my brother's practices and then try to hop on after. And yeah, I just kind of went with it there. And then, grew up in Massachusetts, about 2 hours up the road from here in Groton, and played for the junior Bruins up there, then played at Lawrence Academy. And then I went to UConn, and, Scott graduated from UConn the year before I got there, but we've known each other since I was in high school. So, that was a big reason why Sacred Heart was on the radar for me.
Steve, you bring all of that up, but what led you to the ECHL? How did you go from playing hockey to coaching? Did you ever have a thought where you could potentially be playing hockey professionally? How did you end up coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I've always known I wanted to coach. Even when I was in college, it's just coaching is what I wanted to do. I love hockey. I love being involved in the game. It's my passion. So after I was done at UConn, I played down in Pensacola, and you're always trying to find that transition period of when to stop playing and when's the right time to move on. And I was trying to consider if I was going to play another year or not, and the position in South Carolina became available. The head coach that was just named, his name's Ryan Warsofsky. He's also from Massachusetts. I grew up playing against him. He went to Cushing Academy, so I played against him there. He went to Sacred Heart, actually, so I played against him in college. We had a lot of mutual friends. So when he got the job, a couple of buddies of mine that are really close with him reached out to him, and it just went through the interview process and ended up getting the job as the assistant coach. So a little luck and really good timing, and ended up in a really good spot. And um, Ryan, he taught me so much about, coaching and the game, and, culture, and a lot of things that I harp on now, I learned from him. And he's having a great career. He's the head coach in the American Hockey League now. And I still lean on him to this day. I'll call him and ask him questions about certain situations of what he would do and whatnot. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it. And again, I feel so blessed and so fortunate. I love it. It's something that, again, I've always wanted to do. And now that I'm actually living it, I don't feel like I'm working. I love going to the office. I love spending the time with the staff and, doing the video, all that stuff. So it's been a really good ride.
Obviously, Sacred Heart's a great place to be. It's really a growing program in college hockey at this point in time. But going into this year, we had a lot of momentum after winning Connecticut Ice last year. So you being new to the team, describe the start of the season for you and how it's been going and how that momentum is carried on.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's been such a weird year, right? With everything going on, it's hard to build momentum because we get shut down a couple of times. We're not practicing with our full group and whatnot. But the guys have done an awesome job dealing with the adversity, not letting it get to them, just kind of taking it in stride and building momentum off of last year. I would say the biggest thing is when you're exposed to winning, you see what it takes to win, and you see what goes into it and how much you can get out of it as well. So I think the guys that have been here been getting a really good taste of a winning mentality, and they're bringing it into this year, and you could see it in the daily work ethic. You could see it in the detail. You could see how badly they want to do it for each other and do it the right way. So once you start building that culture, that becomes a standard. You're going to get more out of your group. So I think we've done a good job of maximizing the potential of our group. It's like I said, it's been hard to get into a full rhythm, but hopefully this is our last shutdown. Once we get back, we can get into that rhythm and build some momentum going into playoffs.
Steve, I like what you spoke about in your answer. You said it builds a winning culture and the players understand what it takes to be a winning program.
Yeah.
What did it mean for the team when they went to go play Quinnipiac not too long ago, where they had a game that they would like to have forgotten in game number one, and game number two, they were a completely different team? Do you think that kind of humbles the team a little bit and kind of gives them that winning mentality, saying that we can compete with a very good hockey team, a winning team that has won a lot before?
Yeah, I think the best thing about that weekend was we didn't show up the first night. We didn't play the game. We didn't pay the price to win, and we talked about that a lot. We weren't blocking shots. We weren't doing the little details that you need to win. And then the second night, we did do that. We gave ourselves a really good opportunity to win. Guerin, has a breakaway in overtime to win it, and that's hockey. Overtime it can go back and forth. And so I think the best thing about that weekend is you have the same team playing back to back, and you see one result compared to another, and you could see the difference in the results, completely based on what you're going to put into it. So, I think it proved to our group when we do it the right way, and we go out and we pay the price, we can compete and play with anybody. So, again, I think it's just it kind of builds some confidence, and you get that taste of that satisfaction. So we're trying to build off that, and I thought we were building some momentum, and of course we get shut down again, but that's just something we've got to deal with. So once we get back from this next shutdown, it's right back to work, and continue to build for each other, and finish this out the right way.
What do you think your biggest strengths that are as a coach on game day, whether it's in the locker room between periods or behind the bench?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I would say, just my communication. I try to be talking with the guys as much as I can, whether it's, in between shifts or, in between a period. If I see something, bringing someone in and show them something on video quickly. I think communication is everything. You don't want to leave players guessing if they're playing well or not playing well. You want them to know, they want to know exactly where they stand and what they need. So I try to communicate with them with as much as I can, and then at the same time not over communicating. You need to learn to let things go, and if a guy knows he made a mistake, you don't have to get down and tell him every single time he's messed up, right? So just finding that balance of communication, of when to tell someone, something, or when not to, and, be praising them as much as, you're also going to put them down. So finding that balance, I would say, is something that, is one of my strengths, but something I want to continue to get better at.
Can you talk a little bit about the transfer that Sacred Heart has for the second semester that they got mid-year?
With Hoban?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. He's a young guy. He's coming, straight out of junior. So we were expecting, a little bit of a transition period with, him coming into his freshman year in the middle of the year. Obviously a little unorthodox, but he's played one game and he looked great. He made a lot of good plays, ton of talent. Heads up player. So I think he's going to be a guy that as he gets more and more comfortable and gets kind of dialed into the program, he's going to be, a really good player for us.
You mentioned earlier the recruiting process is this year especially is a lot more difficult to say the least. Can you describe how you guys have adjusted and how you found recruits in this pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for us is we're just watching games online. So, and I guess coming from where I'm coming from, the ECHL, that's how we did a lot of our recruiting. So it hasn't really been a huge adjustment for me with, that's kind of how we've had to deal with things because we don't have the ability to, as with, like with college, being able to fly around and watch players. We play so many games at that level that we have to watch online. So it's been kind of the same, from the last few years for me, where we watch players online, and then we'll just call around and try to do some digging on their character, try to do some digging on how they are away from the rink, because just as important as how players are on the ice, you have to make sure they're a right fit off the ice as well, and that they're going to be representing your school and your program with class. And so that's kind of the process we've been going through. We go through our list, we watch players, and then if it's someone that catches our eye, we'll talk to the player and then do some research on them as well.
Steve, professional and college are two different things. You spoke about that. But when you coach college, you don't have the players for as long as you normally would when coaching a professional team. You have them 4, maybe 5 years max. So it's more than, and they're also students. So it's more than just a coaching aspect. So how do you deal with the players, and are you more than a coach, like a mentor to them? Like, because you obviously have to be more than a coach for college athletes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that goes into the age, right? So when you're dealing with college guys, you're dealing with the younger guys that they're probably a little bit more impressionable. They're at a transition point in their life where they're leaving juniors or leaving high school. Some of these, this is their first time living away from home. So I think you have to look at it as more than just a coach. It's not just the wins and the losses and teaching them a system. You're trying to teach them life lessons as well of doing things the right way. And so that's where we really try to harp on that stuff where you go back to that Quinnipiac weekend, you don't do it the right way the first night, you don't get the result. And then the second night, you do it the right way and, you go to overtime, you end up losing. So it's not fully about the result, but you take a lesson in that from, if you do it the right way, you're going to give yourselves an opportunity to succeed. So I think that's something that these guys can take with, forever. And so, we're trying to teach them, life lessons through hockey. And, that's something that, I definitely think about a lot. And it's something that I've been adjusting to. And it's something that, the longer I'm at the college level, I think I'll get better at.
When you have those weekend series against teams and you lose that first game, what's your conversation the night after or the morning before the second game leading into the next one, wanting to bounce back?
I think a lot of it depends on how you lose. So, or how you win. It's really how you played. So, for me, I'm huge on effort, and I'm fine with mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. Every single person, in the game on both sides for each team is going to make a mistake that night. But they have to be honest mistakes, and they have to be a bad read or that I'm fine with that. But if you choose to make a mistake, if you choose not to block a shot, or you choose not get a puck out, or you're soft, or that's where we have a lot of issues as a staff. So it's the same thing, if you look at it from the full team. So if you lose a game but you play well, your message is, hey, let's continue on. We didn't get the result we wanted, but we thought we did it the right way. If you lose and you got what you deserve, then your message might be a little harder, and you're trying to maximize the potential of your group. So as long as they're doing it the right way, you continue to push forward, and you have to build towards the future. So you can't harp on the past too much, but you need to take those lessons so you can build towards the future.
I like what you said, Steve, when you said if you lose but you play well, you say let's just keep doing what we're doing, because that's exactly what happened in Game 2 versus Quinnipiac. You
Yeah.
guys played one of the best games I've ever seen you guys play, but you guys came on the losing end of that in overtime.
Yeah, and that's just sports in general. There's you're going to get a bad bounce, or sometimes you're going to get a lucky bounce. So that's just that's sports. You can't control that. So that's why if you control what you can control, and just worry about that, more times than not you're going to get the result you want. So if our guys play their hearts out, and there's a bad bounce and we end up losing, that's just something you got to deal with. And so we really try to focus on the process of winning, and not just the end result all the time. And I think we've been doing a good job of that, and I think we'll be able to continue to build for the second half here.
Can you talk to me a little bit about Grant Anderson, which is the first-year defenseman? Last year, Sacred Heart lost a big piece on their blue line in Mike Lee, who went on and now he's playing professional hockey. But Grant Anderson scored his first collegiate goal against Air Force in a very unpeculiar position for a defenseman. He buried the rebound in front of the net. Usually you don't see defensemen in front of the net like that. What did you like about that?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about trying to activate our defensemen a lot. We want to get four guys in the rush. We want to be, aggressive. And, he joined the rush, and, he put himself in a position where, he ended up being able to get a rebound and, bang it home. So that, for me, that's just him put himself in a position to succeed. And I've really liked his development. And he's been getting better and better every game. He's a guy that, he plays a lot of minutes. He's relied upon in all situations. He's been really good on the PK. So we have big expectations for him. And, I just think that he's a guy that's come in and he's earned his spot in the lineup. And, we continue to, we're going to continue to show him video, and he'll go through his growing pains like every single player does. You don't expect, a guy to come in his freshman year and, take over the team. But he's done exactly what we wanted to do. And he's a guy that you project out 3 or 4 years, he could be, one of the best defensemen in our league, if not the best defenseman, once he gets to the end of his career here. So as long as he continues to develop and put the work in, we're going to expect a lot of big things from him.
One last question for me on this topic, and then I'll let Jack jump in. Let's say Anderson does not score there and he gets beat and they go the other way on an odd man rush. Is there a learning period there for you or the coaching staff to go up to him and be like, I like the aggressiveness there, but try not to do that next time? But because he scored, that never happened.
No, because, like I said, we talked about, in our system, we want 4D in the rush, and, we want to be aggressive. So will that come back to bite you every now and then? I think it will, but I think overall you're going to be, gaining more opportunities and putting, our team in chances to succeed. And, if the rebound's not there, yeah, you got to get out. But, if we have full possession or we have an opportunity to go on offense, we want our D to be on their toes. So I thought he did a really good job reading that, and he put himself in a spot, to have that rebound. And then, if it's not there, then you got to cut bait and get out. So we like our defensemen to get up in the rush. I think we can continue to get better at that. I thought last game, we did a good job with that. Bates joined the rush. Allen joined the rush. Obviously, Anderson joined the rush, and we had some opportunities from that. So, yeah, will it burn us once or twice this year? It might, but, I think, that's just a game of hockey. And, that's how a lot of teams are playing now. You watch the NHL, a lot of teams in the NHL, they have 4 guys in the rush. You watch the Islanders, and they're big on that. And, that's a team we really like to, base our team off of.
So, Coach, you haven't been at Sacred Heart very long, obviously, but is there a certain moment that sticks out to you that you feel like you're going to remember for the rest of your career, whether it's something funny that happened on the ice or was it like your first day walking in?
I'd say, we've only played 5 games, so it's too early, but getting that first win at Holy Cross was awesome. We went through so much in the fall of, stopping and starting, practicing with small groups, and we went in to play Holy Cross, and I think they were on their 4th or 5th game, and we ended up, squeaking out the win. Was it, a clean game for us? No. Was it the best game we've played this year? No, but it was still great, just to get that first win. You could see, with the guys, every team that, in college sports, they've gone through so much this year. So when you have those moments together, when, you guys, we can celebrate a win, and, obviously those are the moments you're going to remember.
You look at the standings in the Atlantic Hockey League. You have 2 Atlantic Hockey League teams right in the top 20 for nationally ranked. You have Robert Morris University, number 17, and AIC at number 20. Obviously, with the new pod system this season, we're not going to be playing Robert Morris this season. We're going to see more of AIC. What do you like about those 2 teams?
Yeah, I haven't seen Robert Morris play yet, but I've seen AIC play a few times, in our pre-scouts, and they're a team that plays fast. They're quick in transition. They have a ton of skill. So yeah, I mean, that's a team that we want to be on their heels, and we want to catch them, and I think we play a pretty similar game where we like to be aggressive, like we talked about game before. Excuse me, 4D in the rush. So I think when we play them. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be fun. And, we play similar styles of hockey.
I'm all good on questions, Will.
All right, well, that'll wrap up this edition of the SHU Hockey Podcast. Steve Bergin, assistant coach, thank you for joining us. You were great. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.